Hello everyone, welcome back again. In this video, we are going to study the articulations and the attachments, only the important attachments which are present on the carpal bones. So let's start. After the identification of carpal bones, we come about their articulation, or we come to their articulation, how the carpal bones are articulated with each other and with other bones. This is how the carpals are articulated. These are the carpal bones numbered from 1 to 8. 1 is scaphoid, 2 is lunate, 3 is triquetral, this 4-1 is pisiform, 5 is trapezium, 6 is trapezoid, 7 is capitate and 8 is hamate. So carpals are arranged in this way in 2 rows. They are arranged like that. The proximal part of the proximal row is presenting a convexity. The distal part of this row presents a concavity on which the convexity of the distal rows fit. Also, the distal part of distal row is flattened like this. Anteriorly, onto the palmar surface, all the carpals together form a concavity like this, on which flexor retinaculum attached to form a tunnel-like structure which is called as carpal tunnel. So, this is the way in which carpals are articulated to each other. You can very well clearly demarcate that scaphoid articulates with 5th, 6th, that means trapezoid, trapezium and part of capitate, also with the lunate. Similar way, all other carpals are articulated. This is lateral side and this is medial, similar to my left hand. Now, on the 5th carpal, that is the trapezium, the first metacarpal articulates. On the 6th, that is trapezoid, the second metacarpal articulates. On the 7th, that is capitate, the third metacarpal articulate, and on the hamate, the 4th and 5th metacarpal articulate. Now this is the proximal part, this is radius bone and this is ulna. The radius bone articulates with scaphoid and lunate to form the wrist joint, and a part of articular disc. Articular disc comes between radius and ulna so as to separate ulna from the wrist joint. So ulna does not participate in the formation of wrist joint. Only radius with scaphoid, lunate and this green color structure which is the articular disc forms the wrist joint. So this is the articulation of all the carpals with rest of the bones. After the articulation, we come to attachments of the carpal bones. How the carpal bones give attachment to some structures. We will learn only the important ones, not everyone. Now, you must know that carpal form, end carpals form 4 pillars. 4 pillars. For first one, it is the tubercle of scaphoid. The tubercle of scaphoid forms the lateral and the proximal pillar. Here the pisiform forms the medial pillar. On the medial side again, the hook of hamate or the hamillus forms the pillar. And here on the lateral side, distal side, the crest and the groove of trapezium, they forms the pillar. So these are the 4 pillars, bony pillars, which gives attachment to most of the important structures. Now, as I said, they form a tunnel-like structure by the attachment of flexor retinaculum. So first thing to learn is all the 4 pillars are giving attachment to flexor retinaculum. So 4 pillars gives attachment to flexor retinaculum. Apart from flexor retinaculum, only 1 pillar is giving attachment to the retinaculum of the dorsum, which is the extensor retinaculum, and that to the pisiform bone. So extensor retinaculum is attached or on pisiform. Now what is pisiform? Pisiform is a sesamoid bone developed in the tendon of flexor carpi ulnaris. So this muscle is inserted, you can say this muscle is inserted onto the pisiform again, and it is also a sesamoid bone which develops in this tendon, in the tendon of this muscle. So pisiform is giving attachment to flexor retinaculum, extensor retinaculum, flexor carpi ulnaris. Now from this bone, two ligaments extend upward, which is the pisohamate ligament and pisometacarpal ligament. These are the extensions of this muscle only from pisiform bone to other bones. So these are again attached onto pisiform. Now these are the separate structures. This side is the medial side. So a small finger is coming on this side. Fifth metacarpal attachment articulate with the fifth finger. So the muscles of hypothenar eminence, that is abductor digiti minimi, flexor digiti minimi, and opponens digiti minimi. These three muscles are muscles of hypothenar eminence. This one attached on the pisiform and these two attached on the hook of Hammett. So medial two pillars give attachment to these structures. First, flexor retinaculum on both, extensor retinaculum on pisiform, then flexor carpi ulnaris, pisohamate ligament and pisometacarpal ligament on pisiform, then abductor digiti minimi on pisiform, on the hook of Hammett, flexor digiti minimi, opponens digiti minimi and the flexor retinaculum. So these are the structures which are attaching onto the medial both pillars. Coming on to the lateral pillars, again the flexor retinaculum attaching onto both the pillars. Then this side is the thumb side, the thenar eminence. So the muscle of thenar eminence, abductor pollicis brevis, flexor pollicis brevis and opponens pollicis. These three muscles are the muscles of thenar eminence. Out of these three, again in the similar fashion of medial side, abductor pollicis brevis attached onto the tubercle of scaphoid and these two attached onto the crest of trapezium. Now the groove of trapezium, the most important part, the groove of trapezium, in the groove the tendon of flexor carpi radialis lies. So these are the important attachments which you have to learn. First, you have to know the four pillars. Then first the attachment of flexor retinaculum and then the muscles of thenar and hypothenar eminence. The flexor carpi radialis tendon passes from the groove which is present onto the trapezium. So that was the important articulations and the important attachment on the four pillars which are formed of carpals for the clinical aspect or the applied and ossification of the carpal bones. Please do watch the part third video of carpal bones. Thank you for watching the video. Please like, share with your friends and subscribe my channel. Thank you.